Divided by myself I am one, cause I applied reasoning, the deepening begun. Self-multiplied, many hearts I aligned, ever so rightfully and designedly refined, insightfully enshrined. Grow like an elephant, beat slow, overflow so delicate, water froze so cold.
Hi, welcome back to Scentuality. Today I'm going to review a perfume. I haven't really done this before, and I will admit I'm not used to talking about fragrances. I'm just used to making them, so bear with me. This probably won't be your typical review of a fragrance, and you know, my unique perspective will be from the point of view of making perfume. Not that I'm an expert by any means, but I'll definitely, you know, when I smell a fragrance, I'll definitely be smelling some molecules and I will be talking about them. So, you know, I will have that unique perspective. But anyway, without further ado, I want to talk about this perfume today, and this is Assam of India. Now, this fragrance is basically black tea. It's not as if you've just sort of got black tea and you've rubbed it all over your body. It does smell like a fragrance. The top note is lemon, the middle note is Indian tea, and the base note is sandalwood. It has a citrus accord, a green accord, a fresh accord, an aromatic accord, a woody accord, and an ozonic accord, according to Fragrantica. This is a unisex fragrance. It was launched in 2015, and the perfumer is Jennifer Riley. Now, it smells like black tea, but as I say, it smells like a fragrance. On my skin, when I spray it on my skin, it really opens up on my skin. I really get that citrus top note. When I spray it on a test strip, I get a little zestiness at the top, and I definitely get this ozonic vibe, but it primarily just smells like black tea, and it does so throughout, whereas on my skin it definitely opens out a lot more. So side by side, I do have you know, different impressions of the fragrance, but you know, one is on a test strip and the other is one, you know, mixing with the chemistry and the biology of myself. So it is very, very different. This is the type of fragrance that I would really like to wear. I find it a really interesting smell. You know, something like black tea, it really is intricate enough to be a perfume in itself. And as I said, it doesn't smell like you've rubbed black tea all over yourself. It really does smell like a fragrance. You can smell that it has been constructed on a smelling strip. You can really detect that really much less. It smells really like black tea with a little bit of lemon added to it, and I just think it's phenomenal. And it definitely smells good. It smells like black tea. I get the citrus, I get the ozonic element to it, and it's definitely interesting. And that's exactly what I take from this fragrance. It has an interesting smell, so I would assume somebody else would also think that you smell interesting. I just think it's a really lovely fragrance, and it's definitely a lot more unique than a generic type of fragrance that you're used to smelling. So I would recommend that you have a smell of this if you haven't smelled this before, because it's also a little bit inspiring from a making perfume point of view. I have a black tea base from the Perfumer's World, and I just purchased it recently, so I haven't had a lot of time to tinker around with it, but it inspired me because I've never really thought about using tea before in a fragrance, specifically black tea. I can see how green tea would have a place, but I've never really imagined black tea in a fragrance. But it's definitely opened up some creative avenues within myself, and I'm really looking forward to experimenting with this black tea base that I have. So check this one out if you haven't heard of this before. You know, check it out, have a smell, and see what you think of it. Now, this one is an eau de parfum concentration, but I do admit it doesn't really last a long time on my skin. Maybe it lasts a lot more on your skin, but on mine, it doesn't really give a lot of projection. It's very much a skin scent for being an eau de parfum, and I can already smell the notes just dissipating. And it's turned more into a very faint skin type of smell once it gets into the dry down. It is a lovely, lovely fragrance. It lasts a lot longer on a test strip, and I really do wish it lasted longer. Obviously, those citrus elements are going to go away quite quickly because they are top notes, and you know, the middle note is Indian tea. I'm not exactly sure what has been used in order to create this tea accord, so I don't know, you know, how much of that composition is attributed to the top, because obviously those are going to be the most volatile oils and they're going to evaporate rather quickly, and they're going to disappear with the lemon note. But yeah, it is a linear fragrance, don't get me wrong. It smells like black tea from the start. Once you get to the dry down, it still smells like black tea. But it has really opened out on my skin, and it does become less defined. You get the hint of black tea, but obviously those top notes are dissipating, and this fragrance is beginning to break down. And yeah, not my favorite performer. I would like to get a lot more out of this fragrance. It does break down very quickly on my skin, and I don't really like that aspect of it. But it is quite as a novelty, it works, but I guess, I don't know, as a fragrance it doesn't seem to last very long. It doesn't give much projection. It's definitely just I mean, I sprayed this maybe 25 minutes ago, and it's definitely just become a very light skin fragrance on me. But yeah, in terms of the construction, when I say construction, I'm not really talking about performance. I'm just talking about the overall smell. Oils combined together to create the smell of black tea, and it smells sublime. I just wish that it lasted a little bit longer. I don't really think I would spend the money on this one, because I do think it's quite overpriced. You know, when I start to sell a few of my fragrances, if I end up at that place where I do actually have a few that I really think are worthy enough, I definitely won't charge as much money for them. I really don't agree with the massive markup of perfumery, especially since I understand how it is put together and how it is made. So I do feel like I would, you know, have a lot. My prices would be more honest. But yeah, this one I wouldn't really be happy about spending the money, because it just doesn't last very long, at least on my skin anyway. So I wouldn't really be happy with its performance. And it's definitely really, it's nearly gone. I can smell it, but it has just zero projection. I can't smell it now. I can only smell it if I really hold my arm up to my nose. And this is only 25 to 30 minutes after I've, you know, sprayed it on my skin. It lasts a lot longer on a test strip. On my skin, doesn't last very long at all. I would really be put out if I spent the money on this fragrance and then I got home and I sprayed it on me. I would be really disappointed. But this is just my body. It might be different on yours, but it isn't something I'd spend my money on. So that's all I've got time for today. Short and sweet. This is my first time talking about a fragrance. I would assume they will get a little bit more intricate and I will have a lot more to say. But for now, that's all I have. I will be thinking about uploading some more videos in the future, in the next week or two. At the moment, I'm not really sure what I'm doing with my channel. I have different things going on in my life. I don't really have a lot of time at the moment. I have some ideas. I have some new things that I'm working towards, but I do also want to put some more videos out, just with, you know, in the realms of making perfume, how to make perfume, talking about molecules, some of my favorite molecules, my favorite naturals. I have made videos in the past. Lately I've been rewatching those videos and I thought, you know, this is the kind of thing that probably is a little bit more helpful. Where with regards to formulas at the moment, I'm not really there. I don't have a lot of time to make perfume at the moment, and when I do, I'm trying to perfect perfumes that I have, because ultimately I do want to sell a few fragrances, so I'm kind of concentrated there at the moment. But I do actually have a lot of perfumes to review, so you will find me uploading a lot more of this type of content. But yeah, as always, in the meantime, have fun making perfume, and I'll be back shortly. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day.